Hello, dear students. Today we will learn about the separating of the components of mixture. As mixture is formed of two or more components, then if we want to separate the different components of the mixture, we want to separate the different parts of the mixture, then how we will separate, how we will uh, separate these components of the mixture. Separate means taking different parts differently from the mixture. And actually this is the heterogeneous mixture. That means the mixture which has not uniformity, which is unstable mixture. The components can be separated by simple methods. That means different simple methods are there for heterogeneous mixtures. That means the mixture which is unstable, how we can separate different substances or we can separate different components. We can use simple techniques like hand picking. For example, if the hand picking, sieving, filtration, for example, the sand is having some pebbles in it, then how you can separate this type of mixture? By sieving. That means you have to sieve the sand. You have to sieve the sand. Sieve means like this structure. You have to put sand in it, sand plus pebbles, and then you have to put in this. The sand will drop through the sieve holes, and the pebbles will remain on the sieve. This is simple method. Filtration, or you can say filtrate. If you have a water glass along with the dust or dirt, you can see you can filtrate methods by applying filtration paper. It is the funnel. You have to make filtration paper like this and drop it slowly on it, and you will remove the dirt from the this dirty water glass. Hand picking, that means large substances you can pick from the smaller substances. The size must be large. These are the small methods which are used for heterogeneous mixtures. Now there are special techniques. There are a lot of mixtures. How we can separate the different components from these mixtures, and these special techniques are used to separate components of mixtures. And there are many more special techniques which are very special to separate different types of mixtures. And what are these types of these separating techniques? These separating techniques, these are approximately, there are six or seven. Number one is evaporation. Number second is centrifugation, decantation, sublimation, centrifugation, chromatography, distillation, and fractional distillation. These are 6-7 techniques by which we can separate different components of the mixture. We can take these 6 or 7 techniques one by one, and the first we will take evaporation. What is evaporation? It is the process, or it is the technique by which the components, it is the technique by which the components of mixture, and these components must be volatile and non-volatile. Volatile and non-volatile. What do you mean by volatile and non-volatile? That means those substances which can evaporate and the substances which cannot evaporate. That means the technique by which the components of mixture which are volatile and non-volatile are separated. Example is, for example, ink. The ink of this pen. The ink is formed of two substances. Number one is dye, and along with it is water. Dye is non-volatile. It is non-volatile. That means it does not evaporate. Dye does not evaporate, or salt does not evaporate. It is non. Dye is non-volatile. Non-volatile means does not evaporate. Does not evaporate. Does not evaporate means which does not get formed into gas. Which is not formed into gas. Not formed into gas. That means the substance which is not formed or converted into gaseous form from the present form. And water is volatile. Volatile means here which the substance which can be formed into gaseous state. That means can be into gas converted into gas with the help of heat. That means the dye comprise is a mixture. It is made of dye. This ink is a mixture made of dye and water. How we will separate the dye? By this technique, that is evaporation. Then what happens in this process? The dye plus water. Dye plus water. If you heat the ink, if you heat the ink, the water will evaporate. Water will evaporate. That means evaporation will occur, and then the ink will remain. This dye will remain there. The dye will remain in the pot. Why? Because the dye is a non-volatile. It does not change into gaseous form. That is how you separated water from the dye, or you separated the components of the ink. Another example is salt water. Salt water. How you can separate the water from the salt? Through evaporation. Simply you have to heat the water glass. It is the salt water glass. You have to heat it. What happens? The water will evaporate. Water evaporates, and the salt will remain at the bottom of the glass. That is why, that is through this technique you can use separated water from the salt. That means the components must be, one component of the mixture must be volatile and the another component must not be volatile. This through the process of evaporation you can separate the components of the mixture. And